Hey there, Karen E here. Today I'm traveling and I just want to make a quick video talking about what's going on in India. We all know that the coronavirus crisis is out of control right now as we're filming this video. And I want to give you a Chinese astrology perspective on this and also talk about remedies. All right, now let's get started. If you currently live in India, or if you have any family or friends who are currently in India, or anyone you know who's getting sick, who's suffering, please know that I'm holding energy for all of you and I'm praying for all of you. Even though it looks really bad right now, know that this is not the end of the world. This will pass, okay? A few weeks ago, I made a video about the energy shifts in this year Metal Ox 2021, and I talked about around April 5th you're going to see the shift of very powerful earth energy, because starting from April 5th all the way till about May 4th, May 5th, we have the month of dragon according to Chinese astrology. And we talked about how this dragon energy is going to really bring the earth energy to the center stage. We talked about how, even though we entered this earth year, this metal ox is earth, by the way, even though we entered this year in February, actually it's really not until April we start to see the power of this earth energy. And it looks like, we are seeing a lot of things happening in the world, right? I talked about, the mudslide, the potential mudslide when we saw mudslide in Indonesia. Now, this coronavirus crisis, it's actually kind of caught me by surprise, but I do think that this has to do with the shift of the ox energy. Even though, when I was making that video, I was anticipating more changes of the earth. I didn't really think much about the coronavirus, because the coronavirus is often represented by the metal energy. And the metal energy, we do have the metal ox year. However, this year is a yin metal energy. Comparing to last year, the strong yang metal energy, this energy is softer. I was anticipating that the coronavirus would get a little softer this year. And it's kind of true, in some parts of the world, like, in United States where I live, the virus is kind of softening up. However, what I wasn't anticipating is the power of this earth creating the energy of metal. So in the Chinese astrology, earth gives life to metal. However, this happens on the earthly branches, not in the heavenly stems. Remember, we talked about the difference, right? The heavenly stems is more about what's happening out there, and earthly branches are more about what's happening within us, what's internal. So the earth energy, the yin earth energy, which is represented by the animal ox, is happening on the earthly branches. So when I was looking at this year's earth energy, I was thinking more like, this was going to be about some kind of an internal struggle. But I also mentioned in my video that if there's anything that is not stable within you, and this instability will be manifested in some form. Again, we want the divine to surprise us. We don't really need to know every detail of the divine plan. I did anticipate that if there's any kind of instability, it would manifest as something that you can definitely see and touch. So here's the secret about the earthly branches. For a lot of people, what's on the earthly branches happen more internally. However, if you don't pay attention to it, if you don't hear the cry of the suffering, guess what? That suffering is going to accumulate, and eventually it's going to penetrate that inner layer, and it's going to manifest in the outer world. And oftentimes when this kind of thing manifests in the outer world, it's explosive. It's often worse than what's happening on the heavenly stems, which is something that is seen anyway, right? This kind of explains how everything is happening in India. We know that, India around March and February, coronavirus over there is not that bad, and everybody thought that, oh, we're over it. But I think the instability and inner struggle that people in India don't want to face are still piling up, okay? We had 2 months of wood energy, and during those 2 months, which is, February and March, you weren't feeling much of this piling up of instability, of piling up of problems, okay? Now, as soon as the dragon energy, the month of dragon comes in and trigger the earth energy, guess what? Everything starts to explosively manifesting. And even if you're not living in India, even if you're not suffering from any kind of coronavirus related problems, here's what I want you to know. So, this is really giving you a perfect picture of how our internal struggle could manifest into some kind of external disaster. And how do we remedy this? First of all, you need to know that when you have any kind of instability from within, it's very important to treat it with energy. In our today's world, we rely so much on Western medicine, and Western medicine is all about outer manifestation, right? So sometimes you don't feel comfortable in your body. You go to a doctor and the doctor will tell you, well, you're fine, because that discomfort, that instability, that discord in your energy field hasn't fully manifested yet, right? But with Chinese astrology, with Eastern philosophy, you can kind of see through those imbalances within you. And I want you to start addressing these issues before they manifest. That's how exactly you can avert disasters like this, okay? I think this coronavirus crisis in India is giving us the perfect lesson to start looking within and look for these instabilities and little discords within us and start addressing them with energy work, okay? So when we all can do this individually, that's how we avert a group disaster. And now, since this is already happening in India, I think the next couple months will be pretty tough for India because where India is located, the energy of fire is pretty prominent. When you have powerful fire energy, and also we're entering into 2 fire months. We're gonna have the month of snake and the month of horse. Both months will add fire energy, and fire energy will give life to this earth energy. So it's not going to be as sudden and drastic as the dragon energy that pushes the earth energy. This fire energy will actually make this earth energy even more powerful. And this in earth energy of ox is probably creating more of the mess, which is represented by the virus, which is metal energy. Bad news is after we pass the month of snake, the month of horse, we're going to have a month of sheep. And sheep, again, is in earth energy. And so this earth energy is going to be really, really powerful. The next, I would say, 3 months, I will be very, very careful in India. What's the best way to remedy it? I think right now, this virus energy, which is metal, is at a very, very high level. And when the level is this high, you use something detrimental to battle it, there's only going to be a bigger war. I think the best way to alleviate this is to use the energy of water, because metal gives life to water. Metal generates water. When you add a lot of water, it kind of sucks away the intensity of the metal energy. So if you could, put a lot of water around you, maybe you can, take 3 baths a day and just always have a cup of water next to you and try to be near water if you're in India, and wear darker clothes and use darker colors like black, gray, dark blue, navy blue. And here's another Chinese astrology secret, and this is a little advanced, so listen carefully. In Chinese astrology, the animal zodiac rat represents yang water, and rat is also a pair with the ox energy, which means the animal zodiac rat can suck away or neutralize the energy of yin earth, which is ox, okay? So in this sense, you can actually use the rat energy to neutralize the ox energy, which is making all this mess right now. What you can do is to use a rat figure or a stuffed rat or maybe even a Mickey Mouse. You put it in the north direction of your home. Why north? North in Chinese astrology is the direction that is ruled by energy water. So when you put the red energy in the direction of north, you're amplifying the water energy as a remedy. And these elements are going to slowly calm down this overwhelming metal energy that's at play right now. This is also going to kind of cool off the fire energy, which is giving more life to this yin earth of ox. Okay, so start using these remedies and keep praying, keep connecting to God, to the universe. And guess what? Don't lose your cool, because water is all about cooling down. Okay, so it's very important to stay centered, stay cool. And water also represents divine wisdom. So in this situation, the only way that can keep you away from all this craziness in India is connecting to your inner divine wisdom. And if you're there, make sure that you are always asking yourself within, what is the wisdom the divine has for me? I hope you find peace and healing in this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.